Welcome back to Chattanooga. Don Tyson, Blake Perryman, John Bellamy, and Anthony Harrison bringing you the broadcast tonight. Great game from the Lady Mustangs today. They come from behind to win 52-44. And now the Mustangs come into the game with a record of 1 win, no loss. They won their season opener Tuesday night against Arapahoe 61-35, and they coming off a state tournament championship last year as they are the defending Class B state champions. And they started junior number 1, Tanner McAdoo, a senior number 3, probably the premier point guard in the small school basketball in the state of Oklahoma, Cray Rogers, a junior number 5, Blaine Bellamy, and a senior number 11, Blaine Davis. The Mustangs are coached by Mr. Scott Hines, assisted by his son Cameron. Cray had 28 points in the opening game Tuesday night against Arapahoe in a good victory. Bellamy had 12, and Maddox Hill had 10 in that contest. Maddox Hill is the other starter, sophomore number 31. And starting for Chattanooga, senior number 1, Michael Pattyacre. A senior number 5, Lane Castle. A junior number 10, Jackson Franks. A sophomore number 14, Owen McCoyne. And a sophomore number 20, Jack Denny. The Warriors are coached by Mr. Billy Carr, assisted by Bo Thomason. And they have a record of 1 win and 1 loss. They have played 2 games this season. They beat Olustee 85-17 in their opener. And then they lost to Sterling 58-55 in their contest this past Tuesday evening.
And Don, just a quick note, folks might want to have number 1 in white. Might have your eyes glued to him for a while. He is 6'4", by far the tallest player on the court. So I would assume a lot of the game plan for Chatty is going to be centered around him.
I would think so. I saw him in the pregame warm-ups. He can dunk it with ease, I'll tell you. Mustangs played a good defensive game Tuesday night. Bunch of new faces for Fort Cobb this year, as Blake mentioned a moment ago. There's a three-pointer off the bat, no good by Franks, and the Mustangs come away with it. Half-court pressure, and there's going to be a foul immediately on number 14 as he fouled Cray Rogers advancing into the front court. I tell you what, guarding Cray Rogers, you got a handful. He is an outstanding ball handler, shooter. He does it all for the Mustangs.
And Don, I'm not quite sure I've ever seen anyone fully lock him up.
No, he's going to be facing double teams a lot this year. Goes right around his defender, and that's the second foul he's drawn on number 14. He's too quick.
And already you can tell a little bit of a difference in the way this game is going to be called. Mm-hmm. They're not going to get away with much at all on the perimeter.
Cooper Lofton comes in, replacing young man number 14 who picked up those 2 quick fouls. And there's Cray, top of the key, gets a screen, three-pointer, no good, rattle out. And there's pass up ahead near turnover, but he was able to save it. That's Lane Castle in the corner, baseline 3 on the way, off the heel of the basket. They went right over the back of Davis, and the shot is no good by Michael Pattyacre. When you're 6'4", you can kind of go over people like that. But you got to do a little better job boxing out. And at the line will be Pattyacre. A senior, I don't remember him from last year.
Must be a move-in.
I guess he probably moved to Chatty because I don't recall him at all last year. He's a good-looking player. First free throw, no good. 7:05 to play, opening period. Just underway, no score. And Pattyacre will have missed them both, but they got the offensive rebound. Ball loose, and we're going to have a tie-up. And it's going to go to Fort Cobb on the alternating possession. Evan Walkwa replaces Lane Castle for Chatty. Full court pressure. And quickly, Rogers up ahead to Hill, over to Davis along the baseline. His shot skips across the rim, no good. And we're going to have a double dribble called on Chatty. And turned over to Fort Cobb Broxton. I would anticipate Fort Cobb getting some transition baskets against this press eventually. Up ahead quickly to Bellamy. One dribble around his defender. Shot no good. Good move. Davis gets the rebound. Now there's Rogers down the middle of the lane. Through the lane. Layup no good, but it's going to be fouled. He'll be at the line to shoot 2. Cray kind of got off to a slow start Tuesday night's game. I think he had 2 points in the first quarter, and he finished with 28. So you can anticipate when Cray gets going here, Fort Cobb really looks pretty good. And the first free throw's good by Cray. First points of the game.
Not often you see it take a minute and a half for any points to be on the board.
Yeah.
Especially in a Fort Cobb game.
He made them both. You know, I watched them meet the Mustangs the other day. That was quite a show. They played the game called Gotcha. And he and his dad played and his mom played. And I tell you, they were all very impressive the way they played. A little half hook there by Jack Denny. He lays it in for 2. And we're tied at 2. Rogers splits the defenders.
And now you got
the other way. 4-on-1 all the way to the basket. Layup good by Cray Rogers. And that's what I anticipate happening if they continue to play that type of a press. Cray took it to the other end with ease.
Pretty good example of having the ball on the string there. He made splitting that double team look extremely easy.
Yeah. And he's strong enough. When he gets it to the rim, he can finish.
And the even funnier thing about it is he went right at a 6'4" guy and you know, just.
Well, Cray's probably 6'1". I mean, he's and he jumps so well. Athletic as can be. 3-pointer no good. Battle for the rebound. It goes right over to Chatty. Layup no good. And they're going to call a foul on Cray, I think. Patty Aker a little slow getting up. No, they call it on Davis, number 11. And at the line will be Jack Denny. You're probably too young to remember a comedian named Jack Benny, I would guess, wouldn't you? You ever heard of him?
Probably not. Not ringing a bell.
I'm not surprised. Patty Aker kind of got a little limp. He's going to be replaced by Carlin Robbins. Free throw's no good by Chatty. And they say it went off Fort Cobb's knee. So they're going to inbound it. Out front they go to Denny. Mustangs play a tight man-to-man. They played a good job, did a good job defensively Tuesday night, I thought, in their open against Arapahoe. Long 3-pointer, that's short, and it's going to go out of bounds. One thing about Coach Hines' team, they always play good, stout defense.
You can tell this Chatty team likes that 3-ball. 4 of their 5 shots have been threes.
Yeah.
Good
nice
pass there.
Pass to Maddox. He'll layup in. Beautiful pass from Cray Rogers. Kind of a no-look pass, and Maddox was there to knock it in for 2. Maddox had a good game. There's a long 3-pointer, left wing, short. Rogers there with the rebound. As I mentioned, Maddox in the opening possession of the game knocked in a 3-pointer, had another one, dribbles around a defender, and he's going to be bumped and fouled. And that's going to be 5 team fouls already on Chatty. And so the Mustangs will be at the line the rest of the quarter, shooting 2. It's the 5th team foul, so they're going to shoot 2. Takes a little getting used to that, I think, for everybody. And Maddox here will be at the line shooting 2. Maddox, a sophomore, good shooter. Nice rotation on the free throw, and he drains it. As Patty Ecker checks back in for the Warriors, replacing Evan Walkwa. And Maddox will have one more. Made them both. 9-2 our score. Lofton to Patty Ecker. Left side to go to Jack Denny. Patty Ecker way out front. Offense pretty well, they just pass around the perimeter. Mustangs have that lane clogged up pretty well. They do a good job. Patty Ecker, three-pointer, no good. Grazed off the rim. Jack Denny there with a rebound. Over to Robbins, long three-pointer again. Maddox Hill with a rebound. Quickly out to Davis. Into the front court, up ahead to Bellamy. Left-handed layup, no good. Tapped away, it looked like that time by Franks. And they throw it away quickly. Luckily, that baby was not in the way. It hit the caretaker in the back there. I'm glad it didn't hit the little girl. As that ball had some mustard on it. Stoppage to get the shoe tied. Now we're ready. Rogers in the backcourt. Playing a 2-2-1 press. Quickly into Maddox Hill underneath the basket. And it was tipped away by Franks. It'll stay with Fort Cobb. Fort Cobb really asserts himself against this press. They're going to get a lot of easy shots here, I think, the way it's going. Right wing three on the way. Good. Trey Rogers with the long three. That's 8 for him already, and it's a 10-point lead for Fort Cobb. There's a three-pointer. No good off the heel of the basket. Rogers with the rebound. Quickly the other way. 2-on-1 over to Hill. Layup is no good. Rogers there with the rebound, and he's fouled by Patty Ecker. And Rogers will go to the line to shoot 2 more. And that's 3 fouls on Patty Ecker already. Halfway through the first period. Rogers is pretty hard to guard. He's just too quick. He makes the first. In for Warriors is McCoyne, Walkwa, and number 5 is Lane Castle. And Rogers makes them both. 5 for 5 at the line so far. 14-2 our score. And there's a pass that goes in between 2 of them, and it'll go out of bounds. Turnover to Fort Cobb. And Coach Billy Carr wants to take a time out to talk about it, as the Mustang defense, Blake, has just been outstanding here to start the contest.
And, you know, defense has been stellar. At the same time, Chatty has just had some open looks that haven't fallen. They're 0 for 8 from 3. 8 of their 9 shots are threes. The only one they made was the 2. They're 0 for 4 from the line as well, Don. And we talked about it in the girls' game. You can get as many open looks as you want, but if they don't fall, you're going to be in trouble for a while. And whenever especially when there's a guy on the other bench that's as good as Cray Rogers is, that can quite literally go out and get a bucket by any means possible. Pretty quickly it'll turn into what it is now, and it's a 12-point ball game.
I'm just a little surprised at their defensive tactic of pressing us. Bellamy's three-pointer won't go. Davis with a rebound. McAdoo. Back to Davis. Now Rogers has it. 2 on him. Over to Maddox Hill. Fumbled a pass. And they harassed him pretty good out there and caused a turnover. But, you know, when you have the floor spread like they do again when this press, it gives a guy like Rogers so much room to operate that it's just hard to stop him when he gets that head of steam up headed to the basket.
By the way, that was the first Mustang turnover of the game.
Yeah, that's pretty good. When a team is pressing you, trying to create turnovers, it's not working.
That one was Chattanooga's 5th.
Yeah. And they back out of the press. And they're going to play, looks like just a straight man-to-man. They come out to trap Rogers, try to give him to give the ball up. Maddox now with it. Down to McAdoo. Good move. Or in the paint. Over to
good pass.
Davis with a great feed from Tanner McAdoo. And Blaine Davis was there, the recipient. Knocks it in for 2, and it's 16-2 our score. And there's a move around McAdoo. And a foul on the floor on the Mustangs. Will be charged to Blaine Davis.
Be his 3rd. He has all 3 of the Mustangs fouls this quarter.
And we're going to put in a freshman, Colton Baker, who is, I've watched the junior high games, a couple of games. He just really impressed me at how hard he plays. He's not as tall as the rest of these guys, but I'm going to tell you, he makes up for it in effort. Going to be a foul on Bellamy as he went up for the shot, but Baker, he's just one of those guys that loves to rebound. He really works hard at it. He's fun to watch. First foul on Blaine. And at the line shooting 2 and missing the first is Owen McCoyne.
I'm starting to begin to imagine what Chattanooga's practice is going to look like on Monday.
Reckon they'll practice free throw shooting?
1 for 6 says they will.
Yeah, Ben, you're right. He makes a second. 16-3. And Jackson Franks replaces Owen McCoyne. Once again, they go back to this 2-2-1 press. Over the years, I've watched Fort Cobb play a lot of games, and pressing never has really been too effective on them.
Ooh.
Foul on McAdoo, little kind of a quick step there.
That didn't feel like a great call there.
Yeah, I think it's probably
a little bit of an assumption, I believe. I think he got a quick jump, and it just made it look like a travel, in my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right.
There's a down the lane, shot no good. Rogers with a nice rebound. Quickly the other way. Crossover dribble at the center line, and they stick out their arm trying to hold him back, and we're going to have 2 more free throws for Cray. He just has such a quick step, and it's just an automatic reaction when he goes by you to stick your arm out and try to hold him back. And they don't allow that. First foul on Cooper Lofton. And Cray, who is 5 for 5 at the line so far, will have 2 more. And I mentioned that gotcha game they played the other day. There was probably 20 or so people involved in the game, and as you might imagine, Cray came out the winner at the end. And then they had a game, as he makes both of them, a gotcha game with the coaches. And Jana Rogers, it came down to her and Cameron Hines battled it out. They both made, I'd guess, 5 or 6 shots in a row, both of them did, and finally they got so tired they just kind of waved the white flag and said that's enough. But it was quite a battle. The Booster Club put that on Monday night, and I tell you, it was a great success. It was a lot of fun to be there and to get to meet all the players, and they had some shooting contests and what have you. It was just a fun evening. Glad to get to watch it. But the coaches from Fort Cobb Broxton are pretty athletic people. They put on quite a show too. 1:37 to play. Opening period. Mustangs on top, 18-3. Baker doing a good job defending Lofton. Caused him to miss a shot. Quickly the other way. 4 on 2. Pull-up jumper. Free throw. No good. And there's Baker tapping it out. And they're going to call a foul on him. And that's 5th foul on Fort Cobb. So I think we should be going to the other line to shoot 2. Yes, we will. With 1:17 to play here in the opening period. The officials having a little discussion, I think, about are we supposed to be shooting free throws. But yes, it wasn't an offensive foul. It was a foul on a rebound. So I would assume that's what they're discussing. I don't know. But Chatty will be awarded 2 free throws, and rightly so. At the line is Evan Walker. yet to score. And his first free throw is no good. And Evans' second free throw is good. 1 out of 2, and it's 18-4 now. And now the Mustangs will get it into the front court. Rogers goes around a defender, leaves it for Baker. Shot off the glass and in. Colton Baker with his first points of the night. Good feed from Rogers in the loose transition situation, and there's a turnover on Chattanooga.
It's now 7 for Chatty. Mustangs with 3 turnovers here in the first.
McAdoo, right side, in the corner to Maddox Hill. Baseline 3, good. Maddox Hill, outstanding shooter for the Mustangs. That gives him 7 already, and it's 23-4. Spin move into paint. Bellamy with a nice block.
Wow.
I don't know who called, if he called a foul on Hill maybe, but Bellamy didn't foul him, I didn't think. But he must have. Looked like a clean block to me. Coach Hines, he's kind of questioning that. And I thought if anybody fouled him, it had to have been Maddox Hill, but Blaine was several feet away from him when he swatted that ball, I thought. Coach Hines is questioning it as well. Walkwell makes the first.
From up here, it looked like all ball.
Oh, well, there was a lot of separation between the two of them, and the ball had left his hand by a foot or two when he blocked it. But I'm going to tell you, I don't want their job, Blake, because I would be the worst official in the world, so I don't want to criticize them at all. Because it's a hard job, I'm going to tell you. I've done it before, very briefly, because I found out right off the bat I wasn't any good at it.
Last summer, I got the opportunity to do some up in Oklahoma City.
Great pass.
What a pass.
Oh,
man.
You had the opportunity. I'm sorry I cut in on you there.
Oh, you're fine. Had the opportunity and called. Finally one falls. How about that?
3-pointer for Walkwell. Yep.
Had the opportunity to call the class, I believe they were class 3A state champs. That'll be an and one for Cray. He can't stop that guy, apparently.
That's fun to watch right there. I'm going to tell you that. Poetry in motion, as they say. When he's dribbling down the floor and 4 of them chasing him, you can pretty well tell that something good going to happen here in a minute. Caleb Gray replaces Blaine Bellamy. And Rogers will be at the line. He's made 7 for 7, according to my count. Three-point play, and it's 26-9 with 6 seconds to play. Quickly up ahead, Chatty. There's Lofton. Now three-pointer on the way at the buzzer is no good. And your score after 1 period of play, the Mustangs 26 and the Warriors 9. You're listening to Mustang basketball. Let's see if I can. Got some shooting percentages there in the first quarter, Blake?
I do, Don. Fort Cobb there in the first quarter. 7 for 15 from the field, 2 for 4 from the 3, and 10 for 10 from the free throw line. You can't ask for much better than that. Nope. I mean, I could probably pay a lot of money and not go 10 for 10 from the free throw line, even with a robot shooting them for me, probably.
Yeah.
Chatty 2 for 13 from the field, 1 for 11 from 3, and 4 for 10 from the free throw line. 7 turnovers for the Warriors, 3 for the Mustangs. Individual scoring, Mustangs, Cray Rogers leads all scorers with 15. Maddox Hill doing some numbers for the Mustangs. He is second among all scorers. He has 7. Blaine Davis and Colton Baker both with 2. And then for Chatty, Evan Walkwell leads the way for them with 6. Jack Denny 2, and Owen McCoyne with 1.
That was a good first quarter, wouldn't you say, for the Mustangs?
Well, I have seen better. I don't know if that was a part of the question, but I have seen better, and I've also seen worse. This is exactly what you'd want to see from this Mustangs team, and that being that it's a a little bit younger team, a lot of new starters, 4 new starters to be exact, one of those being a freshman. And whenever you get a new group out on the floor, you know, you always wonder, well, how are they going to sync up? And the performance they've had through the first couple games has been pretty remarkable to me.
Cray with the steal and lay in. 26-9 now, or 28-9. I tell you, the Mustangs played pretty well that first quarter. What's impressive to me is how well they defend. They're doing a good job. There's a three-pointer, no good. Caleb Gray had it tapped away from him, but right to Maddox Hill. Now there's Rogers. Pull up 6-footer, don't go. Got his own rebound. Putback's good, and he's fouled. It's just scoring at will. I mean, he's going to have 20 points here in just a minute in the first 10 minutes of the game. But when he's in the open floor, you won't find anybody any better. I'm telling you, he can really go. He can really go. Fun to watch. That's one of the things Fort Cobb in the last 20-odd years. They've had some outstanding guards. One of the made the free throw. That gives him 20, I think. But guard play for Fort Cobb has just been stellar over the years, and Cray is one of the best they've had. No question about it. Got a younger brother in the 8th grade. There's a three-pointer. Three-pointer good by Lane Castle. And Cree, he's a younger brother. He's a good ball player, but he's broke a finger, and he got his hand in a cast for a while now. He's anxious to get back out there, but he's an outstanding ball player as well. 6:42 to play in the half. Pass tipped away by Rogers, and it'll go out of bounds. That probably saved the basket because they had an open man underneath the hoop. Denny was open down there.
Quick update, Don. Cray Rogers now over 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, exactly 20.
20, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think Chatty's idea, and I assume that's kind of the way they like to play, just press, but I think I'll just try to zone them maybe and hope they'd miss outside shots rather than give them layups. Long pass up ahead to McAdoo, and his ball kind of went up there without much aggression and got the ball batted away. Now the three-pointer on the other end is good by Cortland Robbins. So McAdoo needed to probably go into the guy's body a little bit and try to draw some contact. And there's Cray dribbling through them all. Layup is no good. One of the few shots he's missed. McAdoo with it over to Bellamy. Down low to Rogers. Front of the basket. And one. This will be the third one. It's just amazing to watch. It's like 4 of them trying to stop him, and they can't do it. And he'll be at the line for his third three-point attempt today, three-point play attempt. And we've got first time in the game, Caleb Crowell is freshman, replacing Blaine Bellamy. He's going to check out. And Cray will be at the line for his, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be 11th free throw I think he's had already. Missed one. First miss of the game from the free throw line after about 13 or 10, 12 made. And it's 33-15. There's a drive. Shot too hard, no good. Rebound, Crowell with a nice rebound. Long pass up ahead to Maddox Hill behind the defense. Nice move, lays it in for 2. Good play by Maddox from a long baseball-style pass from Cray Rogers, and Coach Billy Carr is going to take a timeout as the Mustangs have a 20-point lead, 35-15. I'd like to thank our sponsors once again tonight. Fort Cobb Storage and RV Park. Give them a call at 405-668-0670 if you need a storage unit or place to park your camper. ABC Realty. Give Shelley a call at 580-302-1974 for all your real estate sales and purchase needs. She does an outstanding job. She's got a network of a lot of listings, and she'll get the most for your property, I promise you. T-Bird's Convenience Store, Mr. Travis Birchie and all his crew do a great job supporting the Fort Cobb community and the Mustangs, and the Ouachita Valley Bank, proud supporters of the Mustangs for a long, long time. And go down there and say hi to those folks. They'll be glad to see you. And appreciate them sponsoring our broadcast. Back to action here. Chattanooga with a basketball.
Don Cray has accounted for 30 of the Mustangs' 35.
Well, that's pretty good. A lot of assists, a lot of baskets. Now he's got the ball in his hands again. Quickly the other way. No look pass to Caleb Gray. His shot's no good. There's Baker coming out there with it. Over to Gray, and he slides his pivot foot. We got 3 freshmen on the floor now for the Mustangs. They've got Caleb Gray, Caleb Crowell, and Colton Baker, the 3 freshmen, along with Tanner McAdoo and Cray Rogers. Junior high team beat Chatty last night. They got a good crop coming up for sure. There's a long 3-pointer. No good. Crowell with another rebound. Hands it off to Rogers. Into the front court. Goes by his defender. In the paint. No look pass over to McAdoo. Right wing 3. No good. Halfway down and popped out. Rogers is doing a great job finding the open people. And there's a shot no good and a foul on Baker. And that's his second. And at the line will be Cooper Lofton. Cooper's yet to score. Rimmed out. Checking in now will be Jack Denny, replacing Lane Castle. And Lofton's free throw short. Rogers with a rebound. How many assists does he have? Blake, you got that?
Trey Rogers' stat line currently is 22, 7, and 4 assists.
McAdoo's 17-footer won't go, and it's out of bounds off of Cray as he tapped it away. 22, 7, and 4, is that what you said?
That's correct.
Three rebounds away from a double-double. Three-pointer on the way by Jack Denny. Gray with a rebound, hands it off to Rogers. Splits the defenders, tries to get it off to Baker. They intercept it. Long pass up ahead to Robbins. Doing jumping jacks underneath the goal. Owen McCoy. He was doing jumping jacks. I'm wide open, he said. They finally got him the ball, and then Rogers come over and spoiled it. But McCoy's going to get to shoot 2. He's 1 out of 2 from the line. He made that one. And he made him, well, 1 out of 2. Rogers goes all the way to the baseline, shot off the glass and in. How do you think he'd do against him on one-on-one situation, Blake? You think he'd ever score?
I think I would score.
Oh, you do?
I do think I would score.
You think he'd keep him from scoring?
No, absolutely not.
He's got a lot of moves. Very explosive jumper. And there's an offensive foul on Caleb Gray as he kind of...
Hard to call an offensive foul on a pivot. I've never, in my days refereeing, I've never found a good argument to call an offensive foul on a pivot. But
Coach, other official coach behind Pat Scott Hines on the back. 3:09 to play in the half, and And he said he just fell over. Timeout taken by the Mustangs. And Cameron is over there discussing. I'll tell you what, Fort Cobb got quite a brain trust over here on Coach Scott Hines, legendary coach of Fort Cobb. Came over there in 1998, I believe, and he's won 8 state titles and since the year 2000. He's like number 6 or 7. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I didn't bring them with me today, but he's like number 6 or 7 on the list of all-time coaching victories in the state of Oklahoma. And his son Cameron, outstanding player for Fort Cobb, won 3 state titles in his high school career. Went on to play at USAO, had a very outstanding career. He was a conference player of the year a couple of years, I think his junior and senior year in Chickasha, and so he's moved to Fort Cobb, and he is an assistant coach for Coach Hines, and these guys have a wealth of basketball knowledge, I'm telling you. Every year they just produce one good team after another. They've been to state, I believe, 10 years in a row, and when they get there, they intend to win it. Bellamy with a rebound, and he's fouled by number 5, Lane Castle. That's his second. And Cray's going to walk it up with 2:43 to play in the half. McAdoo double team, lob pass in the corner to Baker. Now to Rogers, double teamed. Dribbles out of that. Cross court to Bellamy. Dribbles in the paint through the defenders, and it's knocked out of bounds by number 3. And it'll stay with Fort Cobb. And into the game, I didn't notice that, is number 10. That's Doyle Edge, who's a good freshman as well. Baker fumbled the pass, turned it over. But Doyle Edge, he's a freshman. He's a nice ball player. Pretty smooth, got a good shot. And you'll find that, we'll see that eventually here in the game today. He's got a good shooting touch. Just know he's got a good nose for basketball. He's a good ball player. He'll help him. 2:16 to play. Long three-pointer, right side, no good. Rebound, Baker. Over to Rogers in the corner to Bellamy. That's his spot. Three-pointer won't go this time. Rebound, Chatty. Nice play by Baker. Outlet pass into the back of Bellamy, but he's able to retrieve it. Quickly Rogers through the defenders. Over to Bellamy, off the glass, too hard. Got his own rebound, battles it back up. He's fouled, he'll go shoot 2. Good work that time by Blaine in heavy traffic. And that's the 4th team foul on Chatty, the first on Jack Denny. Jack Benny used to have, he was a comedian. A good basket's good by Davis, or Bellamy. He used to have a saying, I can't remember what it was. Some of the folks listening back home that are as old as I am could probably remember Jack Benny and some of the things he used to say. Maddox Hill's going to check back in, replacing Baker. Maddox, he did this the other night. He's got 9 points. But they're real quiet 9. You know, you look at the score sheet and you think, wow, he got 9 points already. Maddox did that he's a good scorer, and he's a good shooter. When he's open, he makes it. And there's a nice move by Owen McCoyne as he laid it in for 2. And they're going to go back to pressing again.
And that was the best possession Chatty's had in a while.
It was.
About the easiest bucket they've had all night.
Rogers goes around a defender, bounce pass to Maddox Hill. He lays it in for 2. Nice assist. And Maddox, when he catches the ball there, it's going to be automatic too. He's a good shooter. There's a 3-point baseline shot by McCoyne. That's 2 baskets in a row by him. And under a minute to play. Long pass up ahead. Nice save. Basket good there by Doyle Edge on a great catch. That ball was moving. And Doyle was able to catch it and lay it in for a nice, easy 2. Bellamy with a good rebound. Rogers.
Another good
to
pass.
Maddox Hill, lays it in for 2. Maddox is loving this. Hurry down the floor and Cray will find you. He's getting close to those 10 assists, I would think. Blake, I don't know. I know he had 4 at one time, and he's had 2 in a row. Long pass up ahead to Hill. And layup is good. Oh, Maddox.
I don't think he's going to
benefits.
have it in a half, but he's pretty close. I believe he's going to be at about 24, 9, and 7.
Okay. I was thinking he had to be getting close to the 10 assists because he's had several here in a row. And Maddox, I told you he was kind of a quiet scorer. He's really reaping the benefits of these great passes from Cray. He got 8, 10, 15 points himself. That'll be the 3rd foul on Blaine Bellamy. 5 seconds. 3-pointer on the way. No good. Rogers with the rebound. 1 second. 3/4 court shot. It's good!
Why not? Why not?
How about that?
Why not?
Swish!
I didn't want to say it while it was up.
Right on the
But, man,
money.
that felt good.
That's an impressive thing as you ever saw. He made that look so easy.
Cray Rogers.
What a show. What a show he put on. Yeah, let's hear it.
In one half, Cray Rogers has put up 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists.
That's about as outstanding a performance as you'd ever hope for right there. I'm telling you, that shot right there looked so easy. It was unbelievable. And I'm with you. As I'm watching it go in, I thought, that's right on. But at the Meet the Mustangs Monday night, they had half-court shots. You know, that was part of the deal. And I watched him a lot. And he made it look easy from half-court. He practices that, I think. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Before we dive into the rest of the stats for this game, I want to talk about Cray for a second.
Okay.
And that's one thing to be as good of a scorer as he is, but it's another thing to be able to be as good of a playmaker as he is. And, Don, you had mentioned earlier Fort Cobb's had a lot of good guards. And even in the last 10 years, Cameron Hines, Kellen Hines, Tyson Eastwood, now Cray, all of those guys had a lot of things in common. They were great scorers, but they were even better shot creators for other players.
Yeah.
And really there at the end of the second quarter, Cray had 3 assists in 3 possessions.
Yeah.
And now obviously two of those were on transition looks, but you still have to be able to see those and Cray to be able to not only put the ball in the basket as well as he does, but get his teammates open looks and get them the ball whenever they're in the right spot. It's a testament to not only his talent level, but the talent level of everyone else around him and the trust in his teammates. And you can see on the scoreboard almost 50 points and a half that this team's on pace for 100. And I'll be completely honest with you, Don, before this season started, I did not know what to expect with this team. I didn't know if they were going to go out and average 50 points a game or average 80. And tonight you've gotten to see, hopefully, a team that can go back and defend our title again.
Go ahead with your scoring. Yeah, go ahead.
Going into the stats here, Chatty finished that half 6 for 30 from the field. 23 of those 30 shots were threes, and 4 for 23 from the three-point line. Don, I would assume coming out in the second half, they're going to make quite a few adjustments on the offensive end, simply because they've only made 4 of their 23 threes, and whenever you shoot that many and make that many, not a good recipe for success. 5 for 14 from the free throw line for Chatty. They didn't turn the ball over in the second quarter that I saw. Only 7 turnovers in that half. Mustangs, 17 for 33 from the field, 51.5%. They're 3 for 7 from 3, and they really haven't even needed to shoot many of those. 12 for 14 from the free throw line. Also 7 turnovers for the Mustangs. Big difference in this one. Fort Cobb has out-rebounded Chatty 27-12.
Yeah.
The rest of the individual scoring, Mustangs first, Cray Rogers 27, leading all scores. Maddox Hill with 15.
Yeah, played well.
You know, it's a quiet 15, but at the same time, whenever you got a guy that can go out and be that second scorer for Cray on most nights, then on this team it'll probably be a different guy each night.
Every night will be different.
And that's a good thing to have, in all honesty.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Rest of the way for the Mustangs, Doyle Edge, Blaine Davis, and Colton Baker all with 2, and then Blaine Bellamy with 1. Chatty's individual scoring so far, Owen McCoy leads them with 7, Evan Wakwa right behind with 6, Lane Cassell and Corbin Robbins both with 3, and then Jack Denny with 2. Don, I hope this trend continues and we get another performance like this in the second half. I'll turn it back over to you.
Good report there, but I have a feeling Cray won't see much action here in the second half. He'll probably play some in the third, but yeah, it's a good half. Outstanding, a lot of fun to watch. I've enjoyed it. We're going to take about a 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll have second half action. You're listening to Mustang Basketball on FCBMustangs.tv. Welcome back to Chattanooga. Second half action about ready to go. Mustangs on top 49-21. And it'll be Chattanooga's basketball to start third period. How many did you say Cray had in that first half, Blake?
27.
27. Okay, I thought maybe that last one made him 30, but 27 in the first half.
He's already got 10 boards. I'll give that one to Blaine.
And there's a foul right off the bat on Pattiacker. And I think that's going to be his fourth personal. Yeah, he didn't get to play much in that. Played about half the first quarter, picked up 3 fouls. That's his fourth. Tell you what, it's just hard to guard Cray. So quick off the dribble. He handled the ball so well, even in traffic. In the corner to Bellamy. 3-pointer on the way. Good. Blaine Bellamy.
9
with a baseline 3. His first of the night. Nice move through the trees, but couldn't get the ball in. Pull up 15-footer from the free throw line by Rogers, one of his few misses. Bellamy with a rebound, put back good. Nice work by Blaine. 2 baskets in a row for him to start the third period. Bounce pass down low to Pattiacker, got around Davis, missed the shot. Davis hustling for the board, loose on the floor, and it's going to be Fort Cobb basketball. I was talking, went down there in the break, and I was talking to Coach Hines a minute, and there's a shot by McAdoo's good, baseline 3. And Cray just happened to be standing there by me, and he shot his last shot there in the halftime warm-up, and he drained it, and as he was walking off the court, I heard him say under his breath, "I love this gym." Reverse layup by Cray. So it's just one of those deals where he feels comfortable in here, and he's pretty impressive.
He's up to 29, 11, and 10 now. Triple-double.
There you go. You know, those are hard to come by. Down to Pattiacker, going against Rogers. Backs him down, layup in. Michael Pattiacker, that's his first field goal of the night. Athletic young man. Maddox Hill tries to throw it over his head, and that was ill-advised as he jumped up and stole that one. Hard to throw over a guy like that. And there's going to be a travel call. He didn't think that was, didn't appreciate that call very much, I don't think, from his reaction, but he's going to go take a seat. And I think the coach is trying to say, "Why are you making that call? You're on the baseline." And 2 out there didn't call it, but the official says, "Well, he walked. I saw it. I called it." I kind of agree with him. No matter where you're at, if you see it, you ought to call it. Underneath the Bellamy, shot no good, missed it, got a rebound, put back good by Blaine. That's 7 points in the quarter for Bellamy. And it's 61-23. Left wing 3 is going to sail out of bounds. And it's turned over to Fort Cobb. And Rogers will walk it into the front court. The Mustangs travel to Binger on Tuesday night. Maddox Hill, baseline 3, no good. Rebound Pattiacker. Three-pointer off the glass and good by Evan Walkwa. It's his second tray. And it's 61-26. Rogers goes around a defender. Around 2 of them along the baseline.
How did he
no
stay
look
in
past
bounds?
Good question. Walking a tightrope down there. Now there's Davis. Three-pointer. Off the heel of the basket, no good. Rogers with a rebound, and he's going to be bumped and fouled, and he'll be back at the line to shoot 2 more.
And that'll be Patty Akers' 5th. He never could get going tonight.
Nope.
Don, he got 3 quick fouls and didn't play at all, I believe, in the second quarter. Didn't play very much in the first quarter, as a matter of fact.
Nope. No, he probably played about 1 full quarter is about all minutes he got tonight. But I tell you, if you're trying to guard Rogers, you got your hands full. Especially when they're pressing, like, you know, if they played maybe a zone or something, he probably could have stayed in the game a lot longer. But when you're playing a man full court press like they were going, it's easy to get out of position and use your hands too much, and it's kind of what got him, I think. Rogers makes 1 out of 2.
Now up to 30.
Halfway through the 3rd period. And we're going to have a foul on Blaine Davis as he was muscling around with a little too much, still too aggressive. And that'll be the 4th on Davis. A little 15-foot elbow jumper won't go, and they're going to be a tie-up. It'll stay with Chattanooga. Gray intercepts the baseline pass. You know, I wouldn't have thrown it near him, I don't think. Layup's good by Cray Rogers. If I looked over there and saw him standing there, I think I'd have threw it somewhere else. 64-26 in the corner. And Chatty swings around the perimeter, and we're going to have a moving screen called on number 0. That's Cooper Lofton. And it's going to be a turnover, a 3rd foul on Lofton. Underneath, they go to Maddox Hill. He was wide open. He went right through his hands that time and out of bounds. Maddox made a fortune there at the end of the 2nd period catching passes like that one, but that one went through his hands. Shot no good. Rebound loose on the floor. Chatty gets it. 3-pointer on the way by Franks, and he nails it. Jackson Franks with his first basket. And it's 64-29, and they go back to this 2-2-1 press. And the coach is trying to back them up a little out of it. Cray's dribble through all of them. It's just... You know, you was talking about, and now Peyton Bellamy is going to check in replacing Blaine Davis. He's talking about all the point guards Fort Cobb's had and back through the years, and you mentioned some of them that in the last 7-8 years, but I'll go back all the way to the year 2000. Charlie Picotti would come to my mind as one of our better ones that could create shots for other people, like you mentioned. Charlie was really good at penetrating in the lane and kicking it out to somebody. Kevin Rivera could do the same thing. Peyton Bellamy, shot off the glass and in. Nice shot by Peyton. And he makes his first basket. But Charlie and Kevin, they were 2 outstanding guards back on a state championship team back in 2000. And they also, there's a long pass up ahead to Bellamy, now to McAdoo. Bellamy's wide open, clapping for it, can't get it to him. Over to Bellamy, in the corner to Rogers, baseline 3, rimmed out. One of his few misses today. There's a Step through move, no good. Rebound Rogers.
I think when this is all said and done, he might be at 20 rebounds. He's got 16.
Uh-huh. Well, he's going to have to do it probably in the next minute. I don't figure he'll play in the fourth quarter. To Bellamy. Reverse layup, no good.
Got a little bit too much underneath the rim.
Need to move over a few more inches. Three-pointer right wing, no good. There's one of those rebounds. All the way down the floor, steps around a defender. Reverse layup's good. Trey Rogers. Was that 34-5, something like that?
That's 34.
34. With 40 seconds to play in the third period. And Colton Baker going to check in. And he's going to replace Trey Rogers. And he ought to get a nice ovation. That's quite a performance from Trey Rogers. 34 points and 10 or 12 assists. Blake will give us all those stats here, probably at the end of the period here of what Trey's night was. 27 seconds to play. McAdoo takes it away. Over to Bellamy. To Maddox Hill, three-pointer good. Oh, Maddox, he's quite a shooter. 71-29. That's the second tray for Maddox.
And there's another steal from McAdoo.
Quickly the other way. Maddox alone, baseline tray again, good. Maddox Hill. Great way to finish the quarter. That's 3 trays for Maddox, and he's got
21
points for Maddox. He had a good night Tuesday night. He's a great shooter, and he seems even more relaxed tonight. What was the stat line for Trey after 3 quarters?
Final stat. Well, I say final.
I would assume he's not playing anymore.
Final stat line for Trey: 34 points, 17 boards, 10 assists, shot 75%. From inside the arc, 50% outside, and 83.3% from the free throw line.
You know, that's a career for me right there. You know, that was quite a show.
I'm sitting here looking at it. All I can do is laugh at it.
I know. Fun to watch. There's no doubt about it.
And there's a guy in the NBA that, in a way, kind of changed the game. There's a lot of guys that are able to do it now, but Russell Westbrook, you know, back in 2017, I believe it was, set the triple-double record, and now Harden, Jokic, you know, you got all these guys that can go out and put up a 30-point triple-double on any given night. So that facet of the game is starting to become a more common occurrence, but in high school it's a completely different ball game. So for him to have that stat line, whenever it really it didn't even feel, you know, like a real flashy. He just made the play when it was there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when they come out in that 2-2-1 press, I thought immediately that this is not the 14. That's Owen McCoy with a steal and knocked it home for 2. I didn't feel like that the 2-2-1 press are going to be too effective with Cray being able to dribble through it. And that's kind of what happened, but they kept at it. They never did give up on it. Three-pointer no good by Crowell. Baker with a nice save. Over to Leighton Hill, who checked in. I better get our lineups here for Fort Cobb. They got a whole new team out there since we started the fourth quarter. Three-pointer on the way, no good. There's Leighton Hill with a rebound. We got Leighton Hill, Peyton Bellamy, Colton Baker, Caleb Crowell, and Doyle Edge for the Mustangs. Starting off the fourth quarter here. Crowell with it to Baker. We got 3 freshmen on the floor once again. Peyton's pass is going to sail into the backcourt. Good hustle there by Hill, but he couldn't track it down quick enough.
Don, I think that might have been a pass interference. I'm not sure. I think they could have thrown a flag there.
I tell you, Leighton played a good game Tuesday night too. He made some shots from the top of the key. That's pretty impressive, his shooting touch. Another guy that plays hard. Cross-court pass, three-pointer on the way, no good. Chatty with a rebound. Another three-pointer, this time by Franks. It's no good. And Owen McCoy is going to be fouled by Colton Baker. Got my little granddaughter here with us today. Emerson is staying with us for a few days, and she's here entertaining us. And slept all the way over here, and she's wide awake right now. She'd like to talk on the radio, I think, but probably better do that another day. Free throw no good by McCoy. And Cooper Lofton checks in, replacing Jackson Franks.
Don, they ended up calling that foul on Peyton.
Okay.
Bellamy.
Okay. Good hustle there by Lofton to track down the rebound. Three-pointer on the way, no good. And it's out of bounds off of Leighton Hill, they say. Leighton thought someone else had touched it. And he's going to be replaced by Caleb Gray, another freshman.
Don, these are some really good minutes that the Mustangs are getting right now. Most of Chatty has played quite a few minutes tonight. And so you got a whole bunch of bench players that are going to get some quality minutes against some guys from another team that play a lot of minutes.
There you go. That's absolutely right.
For sure some quality minutes tonight.
It'll pay off for them as the year goes by. Yep. I tell you what, you can't. It's hard to duplicate this in practice when you can play a whole quarter in a game, and just great experience for them. Three-pointer along the baseline, no good. Caleb Crow with a good rebound. Caleb doing some good ball handling out there, and he's going to be fouled by Cooper Lofton. Caleb had to do a good job holding on to the ball that time under heavy pressure. That's the fourth foul on Lofton. Little 15-foot jumper, good by Doyle Edge. That's his shot right there. He got a really nice jump shot from about 15 feet. Baseline three, rattled out, no good. Edge tracks it down, gives it to Baker. Gray, 15-foot elbow jumper's good. Nice basket by Caleb Gray, his first two of the night. And now Chattanooga. Three-pointer on the way, good by Cooper Lofton. And we're going to have a stoppage to let a couple of subs come in. That's Jackson Franks and Evan Walkwa. Chatty's played pretty well, everybody on their bench today, all throughout the game, as the girls did. They played a lot of players. You know, I was doing some reading. There's Doyle Edge again with a nice shot. That nice touch he had. I was reading a little history about Chattanooga yesterday, Blake, and believe it or not, it was a guy named C.L. Sisson was over here around 1900. Had some land. They formed a town, and he named it after his hometown, which is Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is kind of a famous place. That's where the name came from. Gray into the front court, over to Edge. To Gray, right, or not Gray, Crowell. His shot's no good. Rebounded by Jackson Franks. Crowell hustles back and intercepts the pass. Poked around, pinball out of bounds, and they're going to give it to Fort Cobb, I think. Is there any Brahms between here and home?
I'm sure there's one in Lawton.
So. Yeah, kind of hungry for something like that. Look, Doyle Edge with a nice three-pointer. That's 9 for Doyle. Tell you what, he keeps shooting like that, he's going to get to see some playing time. Kroll comes out of there with it, quickly up to Edge. Back out to Kroll.
I'm pretty sure he used a shooting form to pass that ball.
Well, you know, he's got a coolness about him. You know, he doesn't get panicked whenever they're on him. You know, he takes his time and makes sure he doesn't turn it over. That's what I like. Straightaway three's no good. Peyton Bellamy with a nice board. Off to Kroll. And that's Rhett Bellamy who checked in a moment ago. Another freshman. Layup's good by Evan Wakwa, and we have a couple of more subs coming in for Fort Cobb. It'll be number 2, Geronimo Piwanofkit. And number 30 is Riker Hill. So on the fourth floor for the Mustangs, we got Doyle Edge, Caleb Gray, Riker Hill, Rhett Bellamy, and Geronimo Piwanofkit. That's Bellamy, right wing three, no good. Skipped across the rim. And a rebound is controlled by number 50, Damon Schott. With 1:46 to play. Schott, right side to go. Three-pointer on the way, good by number 30. It's one I don't have on my roster. Doyle Edge, right wing three. That's off the front iron. Riker Hill with a nice rebound. Now Gray has it, top of the key. Over to Hill. Hands it off to Piwanofkit. Straightaway three, no good. Bit strong. Gray with a rebound. Leaves it for Hill. Right wing three, no good. Rebound Chatty.
3 good looks right there.
Yeah, nice form on the shot.
Like the no hesitation.
That's right. Right wing three on the way, good. Owen McCoyne, that's his second tray of the night. And checking in for the Mustangs now will be Caden Setzer, replacing Doyle Edge. And Doyle gets a nice hand. He just looks like a ball player to me.
He's exiting the game with 9 points.
Yeah. There's Piwanofkit, left wing three.
Bank.
Good touch off the glass. The bank is open. Geronimo Piwanofkit.
It's Veterans Day, Don. It's not supposed to be open.
You know, we were open, worked all day. Veterans Day is actually tomorrow, but we were open today. And the veterans, honor the veterans tomorrow around the country. And one of the great things our country does is honoring our veterans for all the great service and sacrifice they make. Keep us all safe. Three-pointer no good, 12 seconds to play. Ball's out of bounds. It'll be Fort Cobb's ball with 9.9 seconds. Now they're going to say it goes to Chattanooga. Somebody tipped it, they say. So Chatty's basketball. And he throws it into the back court. And they save it. 5 seconds. Three-pointer, no good. And that will do it. Your final score, Fort Cobb Broxton 86 and Chattanooga Warriors 45. So good performance tonight by the Mustangs. They came out, took care of business today, and they moved the record to 2 wins and no losses on the season. And we'll turn it over to Blake Perryman for the final wrap-up. Blake?
Don, Mustangs started the game exactly how you want to. Their highest scoring quarter was the first quarter, had 26 points in that quarter. Their shooting totals for the game, they went 32 for 61 from the field, 9 for 22 from 3, and 13 for 16 from the line. Finished the game with 15 turnovers. Chatty, 15 for 63 from the field, 10 for 46 from 3, 5 for 16 from the free throw line, 13 turnovers. Mustangs out-rebounding the Warriors 46 to 25. individual numbers for the Mustangs. Cray Rogers, again, led the way. 34 points, 17 boards, 10 assists. Triple-double for him. His plus-minus, by the way, plus 37. Second leading scorer for the Mustangs was Maddox Hill, and his plus-minus was 42. Quick rundown of plus-minus. That's basically how many points you outscore the other team by or get outscored by while that player is on the court. The rest of the way for the Mustangs, Blaine Bellamy with 8, Doyle Edge 9, Tanner McAdoo with 3, Blaine Davis with 2, Geronimo.
Pewanofsky.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't want to butcher it. I apologize. He had 3 points tonight. Then Colton Baker, Caleb Gray, and Peyton Bellamy, all with 2 for the Mustangs. For the Warriors tonight, Owen McCoy led them with 12, Evan Wacko 11, Cooper Lofton 3, Michael Pattyacre 2, Lane Cassell and Jackson Franks both with 3, and Colt Roach, which was number 30, he also had 3. And then Jack Denny with 2 for them. Overall, a well-played game for the Mustangs, and whenever you have a guy that is able to create shots not only for himself but for everyone else at the level that Curry can, and not just that, but those guys hitting those open shots.
Right.
A big credit to the guys around Cray and coming in and filling their roles and hitting those shots when they need to. Because ordinarily, you miss those shots, it turns into a game of, well, how many points can 1 or 2 guys score to keep you in this game?
Yeah.
So a good team effort today for the Mustangs. Real quick, I'm going to count how many different players they had score. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different scores. Only 2 in double figures, but those in double figures had 34 and 21. So combined 55 from Cray Rogers and Maddox Hill tonight. Look forward to seeing them next Tuesday. I believe they're in Binger.
That's right.
Both teams 2-0. I think rankings come out on Monday, either this Monday or next Monday, one of the two. We'll get a chance to see where our teams are ranked. Don, I'm excited about this season. I have high hopes for both the girls and boys. I think they're both going to make it.
Well, it's been a lot of fun.
Quite a ways.
Watching it. Yeah, it's.
And I think both teams are going to surprise some people.
Yep.
I've been hearing talk, well, we're missing 4 starters and coming off a state championship. How are the boys going to do? And then at the same time, well, the girls have been close here the last few seasons. They've made the area tournament and fell a little bit short. But I think this season, Coach Rogers will have them in the right spot, and this time it'll be the right time for them. So looking forward to a good season.
Yeah, I certainly do. Look forward to it. You bet. Once again, your final score today, Lady Mustangs came from behind in the fourth quarter to win 52-44, and the Mustangs dominated throughout 186-45. I'd like to thank once again our sponsors, the Ouachita Valley Bank, T-Bird's Convenience Store, ABC Realty, and the Fort Cobb Storage and RV Park. I'd like to thank all of our broadcast people today. Anthony Harrison, he's joined our team this year. He and John Bellamy doing a great job engineering, and I'd like to thank Blake for great color commentary and statistical work. And I'd like to, my granddaughter Emerson, she might say good night, everybody. Can you say good night, everybody? No, she don't want to talk all of a sudden. Anyway, for all those guys, appreciate you joining us, and I hope you'll join us Tuesday night from Binger at about 6:25, and I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll see you Tuesday. Good night, everybody.